everyone! Today we're going to be recreating Chef John's Honey Sriracha crispy chicken wings done in the oven. Right here we're cutting up the big chicken wing. We're removing the small drumette from the wing so that they're easier to cook and they're easier to eat. And right here we have 2.5 pounds of wings. That's the quantity you're going to want to use for this recipe. So I've slowed this down to show you guys where you cut exactly. You cut the wing from the drumstick looking portion. We're gonna go ahead and preset our oven to bake 425 degrees Fahrenheit. The full recipe will be down below. There's only 4 ingredients to make these wings extra crispy, and we're gonna mix these together and put them on our chicken wings before we put them in to bake. So we have 2 tablespoons baking powder, 1 teaspoon smoked paprika, 1 teaspoon kosher salt or coarse salt, and 1 teaspoon ground pepper. So I've gone ahead and divided each ingredient up into smaller bowls so it makes it easier when we're putting them over top of the chicken wings. So go ahead and grab an extra large bowl. This is going to be useful when we're flipping the dry ingredients onto our wings. So go ahead, you can either mix these ahead of time or you can put them on one by one. It's not going to matter in the long term which you choose because it's all going to be mixed together evenly at the end. So now get someone with big muscles so I can lift up the bowl and flip the ingredients all over our chicken wings. This is going to take a little bit of time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, constantly flipping the chicken wings to make sure that the dry ingredients are evenly coated on the chicken wings. This is what your chicken wings are going to look like when you've been flipping the chicken wings for 2 to 3 minutes. You can see that the dry ingredients are evenly coated on top of the wings and there's no patches of white or red from the baking powder or the paprika. Now you're going to want to grab a large baking sheet and line the top with parchment paper. This is going to make for an easy cleanup at the end. And then on top of that, you'll want to put a baking rack, and that's going to let the wings cook evenly and make them very crispy. Since there is 2.5 pounds of wings, you're going to have quite a few. And I was trying to fit them all on here with a small space in between, but I found there was too many. So I ended up moving them closer together to make them all fit on. I did have a few extra, which I did on the barbecue after, but I found it fit quite a few on here, and they can be quite close together. Just make sure that they're not overlapping so that they do cook evenly in the oven. So these are the prepared wings just before they go into the oven. You can see they're not overlapped, but they are fairly close together. By this point, your oven should be preheated, so go ahead and place the wings on a middle rack in the oven to bake. We're gonna put these chicken wings in for 15 to 20 minutes, so I chose 15 minutes, and then we're going to flip them and put them back in again. So now we have to make the honey sriracha glaze for the wings. We're gonna need honey, sriracha, we're gonna need rice vinegar, and we're gonna need pure sesame oil. So I've gone ahead and separated all of the ingredients. This makes it easier when we're mixing it together so we can have it all measured out ahead of time. Now there is equal parts of honey and sriracha, which does make the wings about a medium hot in temperature. So if you don't like them as spicy, you can go ahead and half the amount of sriracha. If you like them more spicy, you can double the amount. But it does become about a medium to hot temperature wise on the wings. So go ahead and use your discretion. You can definitely play with these ingredients. Once everything's in the bowl, we're going to go ahead and mix this up. You can use a whisk, a spoon, anything you'd wish. And what we're looking for is an even consistency and color in the sauce. This didn't take too long, about 30 seconds of mixing, and it was all combined. The best part now, cleaning up that sticky honey and sesame oil off the stove. This is what the wings look like after 15 minutes in the oven. So our next step is to go ahead and flip the wings. You'll notice right now they look very white and very dry. That's from the baking powder. Chef John said that if you want to, you can dab the wings with another chicken wing to put on that chicken juice onto another one to make it less white, but in the end it'll all work out for you, so this is definitely preference. I didn't do it at this step. I did do it at the other step to see just how white they were the next time, because I would be dabbing all of the chicken wings. So I'll put the timer on for another 15 minutes and let these wings bake. After another 15 minutes, you can see the wings have a lot less white spots on them. So what you're gonna wanna do now is go ahead and flip the wings over again. At this point, I did dab some of the white spots on the wings just to make them look a little more appealing. This was definitely optional. Then once they're all flipped, we'll go ahead and put them back in the oven again. Again, set the timer for 15 minutes. This is what the wings will look like after a total of 45 minutes in the oven. They were thoroughly cooked and crispy at this point, so I went ahead and transferred them into another bowl so we can go ahead and start flipping our sauce onto our crispy chicken wings. As you can see, the parchment paper made for an easy cleanup of all that chicken fat. So now comes the fun part. We have our pre-mixed sauce that's been sitting and marinating for about 45 minutes. I put a little bit of sauce on and then I flipped it just in case there was a lot of sauce. I didn't want the wings to become too soggy. So I put that sauce on and I flipped it around. And once I discovered that there wasn't too much sauce on there, I went ahead and poured some more on top. So I went ahead and kept repeating this step until the wings were fully coated. I ended up using all the sauce, so this definitely makes the perfect amount for 2.5 pounds of chicken wings. If you have more or less, definitely lessen the ingredients or double the ingredients depending on how much you have. Right now, I use the tongs to just distribute the sauce a little more evenly because the flipping left some areas that were a little bit bald. So here's the final product of the chicken wings. The sauce smelled amazing and they also tasted amazing as well.